Good morning and welcome to the 15-minute Chassidus share. 15 minutes in quantity. We hope it will be a qualitative difference for your whole day. We're learning the Maamarim Doidi, Tafshin Chavav. We're towards the end of Sif Vav. We have just left with the square brackets at the top of page Reish Chof, 2 lines down. To summarize before we go further, that the theme of the Maamarim is Ani Doidi V'Doidi Li. That's Rosh Hashanah Elul. And that the focus of El is the Avodas HaAdam, that service to Hashem that comes from within the Yid himself, as opposed to that which happens Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, where there's a revelation from above. From Rosh Chodesh El through Yom Kippur is the Gil of the Yud Gil Midas Yerachmiel, but there's a difference between how it is Elul versus how it is in the Aseret Yemei Tshuva. The focus in Elul is to give the Nesinus Koyach for the Yid to be able to serve Hashem. And of this we have the mashal that the Alter Rebbe says in Melukat, where you have the king leaving his palace, coming into the field, and that gives the opportunity for everyone to come and greet the king, all those that want, and the king accepts them with a pleasant face and smiles to them. Then they go back with him into the city, describing that the Avodah of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur is in a high level of Avodah, of Avos Hashem and Yiras Hashem, and that in the month of Elul is that of Kabbalah Soil Malchus Shemayim, which is the theme of doing Teshuvah. Instead of having prikus oil, throwing away the yoke of Hashem, to accept upon oneself Kabbalah Soil Malchus Shemayim. And here, that even if a Yid is trapped in the Nevesh Abamis in the Guf, into the worldly life, and he doesn't remember all the time that he is able to attach to Hashem, and deep down his neshama is one thing with Hashem, and that's what he really is completely as a Yid. So comes Elul, and the king comes to the field to remind him, hey, you belong to this kingdom, you're mine. And so this dynamic helps bring out the pnimius rotzen of a Yid, that who are you, what am I? That is to serve Hashem. So with this he'll do teshuvah, return to Hashem, and preparation for Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. So he explained in this ois the technical revelation of Yud Gimel Midas Yerachmiel starts with Kael. Kael is the first and includes all of the Yud Gimel Midas Yerachmiel, and this resonates with the Yisroel. Yisroel is ois Yud, Sar, and Kael. That the Kael, the godliness within him, his Nefesh Elikis, is what can rule him always. So the Yud Gimel Midas Yerachmiel, the main one being Kael, resonates with his neshama and helps bring out, who are you? What's your identity? My identity is I'm a Yid, and now I can throw myself into a deeper level of Avodas Hashem. The square brackets that we're going to explain explains the difference between the words Oyer and Shefa. The Yud Gimel Midas Yerachmiel are referred to as the Oyer of Hashem. Kael Havaya Vayover Lanu, says the pasuk. Kael being the first Yud Gimel Midas Yerachmiel, and Oyer refers to Oyerein Soif of Hashem, a revelation of godliness that's beligvul, unlimited. The language between Oyer and Shefa refers to a flow, and the ancient philosophers, Jewish philosophers, referred to that connection between Hashem and the world was called a Shefa, as Hashpah. And so even though it depicts an undefined entity, but the word Shefa means it's limited to and focusing on the recipient. Like you have a Rav teaching a Talmud. When the Rav teaches the Talmud, he has to be involved totally in what the Talmud's issue is and focus the sheer, the seichel, onto the level of the Talmud. There's a lot of effort from the Rav's part to give over, and a lot of effort from the Talmud's part to receive. The word Oyer is, on one hand, it's descriptive that you picture light, the Taisha is light, but it means a flow of godly energy, and the word Oyer depicts that it reflects and it's a flow of something higher. The light depicts the source of light. Same as we have light coming from the sun. That the same way as the light has heat and actually lights up, so that we understand that the sun is that. So in Kabbalah, the word oyer is used in order to show that it's a revelation of the source. And in that being the case, it's much more powerful. It's a revelation from above. It's not lefi erech the mekablim. And so when there's the word oyer is used, and especially oyer ein sof, that shows it's a revelation that's an all-encompassing, we call it makif, all-encompassing revelation, that is the flow of the revelation of the higher level, the gili of the mashpia, not as it's geared towards the makabel. The mashal is that you have the light from the sun shining on the earth. It shines. It doesn't matter if it shines on a piece of coal, or it shines on a diamond, shines on a person, shines on a mountain. It doesn't matter where it shines. The light is shining. And so this is what the word oyer depicts. And so you have the gilui of this infinite level of Hashem through the Yud Gimel Midas Arachamim, and this triggers and resonates on the neshama of a yid to remind him that he's a yid. So we'll learn this square brackets inside, Reish Chof, 3 lines down in the middle of the line. In many other places, it's explained. The difference between oyer and shefa. The shefa who shemashpia mitzamsen atzmei leviecha makabel, that the mashpia limits himself onto the level of the makabel, and therefore it's a limited revelation. It has to fit the person who's receiving. But and the oyer, when we use the word oyer, that is similar to the ma'or, to the source of light. And so here in our context, it's oyer ein sof, that the revelation of the infinite energy of Hashem as its scale that shows on the infiniteness of Hashem, the unformatted energy of Hashem that resonates with the neshama of the Yid. And therefore, we'll go down to the third last line of the Yos, after the square brackets here, and that's why the Avodah El is Ami, Ani L'Doidi. The focus is on the Yid getting closer to Hashem. Even though this arousal comes from above, the king coming into the field, because the revelation above is only the cause, and through it, it reveals the inner will of the Yid to want to serve Hashem. In this next ois, we're going to bring out quite a wondrous inyan that shows on the connection that there is between the spiritual revelations that there are and our world. The natural feeling is that we just live in a world of Gashmis. And we talk about spiritual entities, the famous 4 worlds, and Oyer Ein Sof, and how Hashem is not limited to any physical expression, not even spiritual expression. But these seem to be worlds out of our reach, or you'd say out of space, beyond space. The truth is, it's not so. That within all of our world, you have all the spiritual revelations as well. And not only that, the whole purpose of creation is to connect the spiritual energies with the physical life that we live. The Torah starts off by saying, Bereshis bara Elokim eis hashamayim ve'es haaretz. Bereshis, Rashi says, B'shvil Torah, B'shvil Yisrael. The Medrash says, B'mei nimlach b'nishma seim shel tzaddikim. With whom did Hashem take counsel in creation of the world? It says within the neshamas of tzaddikim. And the Torah tells us, Va'ame kulam tzaddikim. Every neshama is the level of a tzaddik as it is in its source. So the language that with whom did Hashem take counsel in creation, it doesn't only mean the physical world. There was no spiritual expression existing that before creation. The whole spiritual energy is in order that there should be our physical world and the avodah of Yid in our world to bring out godliness in our world. That's the purpose. The tachlis is nesava lo yisbarach, lasis lo yisbarach debetachtonim. Hashem decided to have a physical world at tachtonim, where He's hidden, and through the avodah of Torah mitzvahs, this brings out, this then spiritualizes the our body, and the whole world around, until that Mashiach will come, and this will shine into the whole world. So the inner life of a Yid, the Ratzon Pnimi, comes from where? From his neshama. What's his neshama? His neshama is rooted in the very essence of Hashem, that Chassidus refers to Atzmusai Yisbarach, and there from that is therefore a world. The world is created because of the Yiddish neshama, of a Nefesh Elikis, and put into Guf in order to bring godliness here in the world. So it's not that a neshama comes from the same place, let's say, as a malach, and Hashem created the world through the Asarim Amars. Everything's created through the Asarim Amars Behem Nivra Elam. And what's the neshama? It's part. Hashem created Adam also. It's much deeper. The neshama is rooted in the very energy from why there should be anything else, and it's the cause. Same way as you take counsel before you do a project. The counsel is, should I do it or shouldn't I do it? Which part? Should I get involved in this or not? So it's not a matter of should or I shouldn't by Hashem. It means to say that the attachment of the Yidden to the essence of Hashem, to Atzmusai Yisbarach, is on that deepest level from which everything else flows, including godly revelations. There are all the four spiritual worlds, which we've spoken about before. And deeper than that is a revelation of Hashem as He is believable, without limit, unfinite, Oir Ein Sof. That revelation is also some level of a created entity. Why is it created? Why are there these spiritual entities? In order that a Yid should be able to serve Hashem. So, and through our Avodah, these entities are also affected. Even though the Oir Ein Sof Yud Gimel Midas Yerachmiel are a revelation of godly, infinite energy, which was the likes of showed up in the base of Mikdash, where we felt that closest to Hashem. Their purpose, why do they exist, is in order that a Yid should be able to serve Hashem here in our world. And so there's when they shine into our universe, into our planet, to affect a Yid, they're also affected. They're also uplifted. They also had the purpose of their existence is brought out. So this always we're going to see that with this dynamic, that the Yud Gimel Midas Yerachmiel leave their place, so to speak, leave what in the marshal the palace and come to the field, means to say that they are forced, so to speak, to come into a world where there are things that are not according to the will of Hashem, where you have a klippa, we have an Nefesh Abamis, where there's worldly values, and they're involved in this low spiritual existence in order to touch the neshama of a Yid. And why does this dynamic take place? Because the neshama of a Yid is attached to the essence of Hashem. The pnimius ratzon of a neshama is connected to and part of and rooted in Atzmusai Yisbarach, the very essence of Hashem. And this is what we're going to explore and develop and see how this is the wondrous effect of the tshuva that he does. We'll start here, Ois Zayin. V'yesh loyma, dal yidei shegili di Yud Gimel Midas Harachmim ma'ir megala harotzen. Pnimi di Yisrael, through this, that the Yud Gimel Harachmim arouse and reveal the Rotzen Pnimi, the inner Rotzen of the Yid, Sheros and the Yisrael Belokos, Hulafi Shem Meshroshim Bahasmas. That the desire of a Yid to get close to Hashem is because he's rooted in the very essence of Hashem. That's who he is. The identity of a Yid is his Nefesh Elikis. Where does it come from? The very essence of Hashem. Is Nasa Ili B'Yud Gimel Midas Harachmim. This then elevates also the Yud Gimel Midas Harachmim. It shows on the reciprocal relationship there is between physical and the spiritual, and this is the dynamics that are taking place. Emir Hashem will continue next year. Thanks for joining. Have a great day.